Back to our Voters Decide coverage. One of the key races that we are following is the Republican runoff for governor. Now between Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones and businessman Rick Jackson. And Jones, who has President Trump's backing, received the most votes on primary day, coming out more than 50,000 votes ahead of Jackson. But a first place finish doesn't necessarily guarantee a win. Remember back in 2018, Governor Brian Kemp received 25% of the vote in the primary and 69% in the runoff. Now, we have reporters covering both campaigns tonight. Emily McLeod is at Rick Jackson's watch party in Sandy Springs. But we begin with Daniel Wilkerson. He's with the Burt Jones campaign in Jackson. Daniel.
Sharon, good evening. Good evening to you at home. As voting continues across Georgia, supporters of Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, they have started to file inside. In fact, we'll be going in just a little bit. Of course, this is an area that Jones is familiar with. This is his hometown. Speaking of Jackson, he has represented this area for years, first as the state senator and then as the Georgia Lieutenant Governor. Now, he entered today's runoff after leading the first round of voting and has spent the final days of the runoff campaign making the case that his experience in state government makes him the best choice to lead Georgia. His campaign is expecting supporters from across the state to join them here as they wait for the results to start coming in. Jones has called Jackson home for most of his life. The Butts County native first won election to the Georgia Senate back in 2012 and later became Georgia's lieutenant governor. During the runoff campaign, Jones has focused heavily on issues including public safety, education, and Georgia's economy. He also campaigned with the support of some of the biggest names in Republican politics, including Governor Brian Kemp, who has endorsed him, as well as President Donald Trump, who has also endorsed him. Now, the campaign expects the crowd to grow throughout the evening as supporters watch to see whether Jones can secure the Republican nomination for governor. Again, the polls, they closed at 7. Now, Jones is running against billionaire Rick Jackson. Rick Jackson's campaign is going on right now at the Western Atlanta perimeter north in Atlanta. That's where we find my colleague Emily McLeod. Emily, how's it looking there?
Hey, good evening, Daniel. Yeah, the doors have just opened here at Rick Jackson's election night campaign headquarters, and some of his supporters have started to trickle in. Last month, Jackson and Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones advanced to today's runoff, with Jones finishing with a 6-point edge over Jackson. But heading into tonight, Jackson's campaign and his supporters, they do not seem fazed by this. Billionaire and healthcare CEO Rick Jackson entered the race in February, and this has been one of the most expensive gubernatorial races in Georgia's history, with both candidates spending nearly $160 million combined, and a lot of that personally coming from the candidates themselves. Now, on Monday, Jackson secured a late endorsement from U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, and despite his opponent receiving an endorsement from President Donald Trump, Jackson says if elected, he will be Trump's favorite governor. Jackson has also picked up endorsements from Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr, as well as Georgia's Insurance Commissioner John King. Now, Jones did receive that late endorsement from Governor Brian Kemp. Political analysts say tonight could be another test of how influential Trump and Kemp's endorsements are here in Georgia. Sharon?
And Daniel, thank you so much for your live reports. And another race that we are watching very closely, the Republican runoff for U.S. Senate, and who will run against Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff. Congressman Mike Collins is endorsed by President Trump. Conservative outsider and football coach Derek Dooley is endorsed by Governor Kemp. Now, Rashad Williams is at the Battery in Atlanta outside of Derek Dooley's watch party. Rashad, good evening to you, and you're going to be able to break it all down for us right now.
Yeah, we don't have to walk and talk this time, Sharon, but just to reiterate some important notes that you just said. Since the last election, President Donald Trump has endorsed Mike Collins. Governor Brian Kemp has endorsed Derek Dooley, which makes for an interesting situation here. When we look at last month's election, Mike Collins led Derek Dooley by more than 10% of the vote. We'll see tonight whether the president's endorsement can widen Collins' margin of victory. Collins is the owner of a trucking business and has represented Georgia in Congress since 2023. Dooley has positioned himself as a political outsider. He's an attorney who coached football at the University of Tennessee, and he is also the son of legendary University of Georgia football coach Vince Dooley. Governor Kemp acknowledging this week, despite the difference in opinion between him and the president on their endorsements, the final decision will be made at the polls by voters, and the winner will face incumbent Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff in November. Sharon?
Rashawn, thank you. Busy election night for the Republicans. Appreciate it. And we'll have election results tonight at CBS News Atlanta at 11. We'll also have a live blog with minute-by-minute updates on CBS News app that we have. And you'll also see election results at the bottom of your screen during CBS prime time. So you can check that out as well.